You're listening to the Wool Academy podcast. This is episode number 38.
Hello and welcome. My name is Elisabeth van Delden, and once a week we talk to an industry expert from the wool industry supply chain from farm to fashion and beyond, delivering strategies and insights to be successful in wool and showcasing those beautiful stories wool has to tell. I am delighted to welcome Francesco Botto Poala on the show today. Francesco is the Chief Operating Officer at Reda. Reda is a distinguished Italian-based weaving company. Reda was founded in 1865 in the Biella province in Italy and is owned and run by the Botto Poala family today. You might know Reda fabrics because they are very well known internationally for being particularly luxurious and of high quality. But coming back to Francesco has been a student of wool in every possible way. He has worked in a Scottish mill, sold fabrics in London, worked as the Reda sales manager responsible for Japan, Korea, Taiwan, Hong Kong and Singapore. But his experience does not stop there. Francesco also worked for some time in New Zealand, working directly on the company-owned sheep farms, where he even learned how to class wool. I am a bit jealous of this kind of experience that Francesco got during his career, but therefore even more excited to be talking to Francesco today. Francesco, welcome. It's so great to have you as a guest on the show today. How are you?
Good day. How are you to you, Elisabeth? Thank you much for this invitation. I'm delighted. And if you want, I can talk a little bit about myself and what I've done in the last 33 years.
Yes, please do. I gave already a little introduction, but obviously I didn't really say what you are doing actually right now today. And also give us a little bit more detail about Reda.
Okay, I start in the wool industry since I born, probably because my family is a wool maniac family. But actually my real starting date is 9 September of 84, where I spent 2 years abroad, of which part of it was in England, part of it was in Australia, for working for the old Australian Wool Corporation, and part of it was in garments manufacturing. And after that, I joined Reda after 2 years, and I started my business career working at the beginning, as I said, in the commercial department for the Far East market. And then my attitude probably, or my passion started to be more on the technical side and more in the wool side of the business. So I joined, at that moment, the company was run by Luigi, my father, the president of the company at that time, and Roberto, the CEO. And I started to be under the overlook of Roberto, that was more on the technical side. So since then, I joined Reda, and my expertise and my experience was all about machinery, people, all about quality, all about everything that is involving from farming to the finished product, and that is a little bit part of our story, because in the meantime we bought a farm in New Zealand as a company, and just to understand a little bit more about the problem behind farming, and so I got some experience also there. And then in the meantime we established a company in Australia, New England Wool, that with a partnership, of course, where we start to buy our own greasy wool with our structure, with our people, with our knowledge, and in the meantime we also bought a combing mill, which we are still running now, where we got experience also there. We learned also in the combing side. So today I would say that Reda is a really vertical company from farming to the finished product fabrics. And then also in the meantime, we develop different company in the downstream in the market. One was for is called Revolution, that makes garments manufacturing in pure wool for sportswear, for outdoor. And the other one is called Lanieri, where we make made-to-measure suits only online. So I would say that today we can really say that we can control all the different cycle of the production from farming up to finished product, and finished product in this sense is also garments. Of course, the farming side is very small compared to the wool that we need, because Reda today, the needs of Reda is around 25,000 bales per year, and our farm can provide only a small, very, very small portion of that. Reda is a, as I said, is a vertical company. Export 80% of its production all over the world. Is employee over 400 people, and we work 320 days on 365 days, so quite a big time of working. And what else would you like to know?
Well, that was already a great introduction. Thank you so much. But do you think, because your family took over the Reda mill in 1919, and you told us now about all these different additions that happened and changes, do you think that is what made you survive in the wool industry up to today and being successful, that you constantly changed your kind of business model?
I think the part of the success of the company is because of the quality and the innovation. And innovation means changing, and be ready to change anytime and try to anticipate, because the world is changing so fast that unless you are ready to change, you are going to die. And I think that part of the success is the capability of the people of the company to adapt a new challenge and be ready to get the new challenge. This is probably the most important part of our philosophy. Be ready to change, always keeping in consideration that you must deliver quality, always.
Okay, that sounds good. And you also said that whenever Reda ventured into a new field, like buying a sheep farm or several sheep farms, and then also starting New England wool in Australia, you always learned something. Can you share maybe something that you particularly learned and how that was helpful for your business overall?
It's a very difficult question, in the sense that you learn every day something. Really is from, if I to say something from sheep farming, I would say probably that we can understand much better the reason why the wool grower sometimes are complaining, with right or wrong. We understand the difficulties that there is in the professionality that you must have to be a professional farmer. So probably we appreciate more what there is behind that, and and this is, I think, is the best way to learn. Normally, is to put your hand in the business, and this is what we have done. And probably another good tip, what we learn from there, what personally I learned from them, is about classing the wool and to understand the different type of wool coming from the different part of the ship. And this is very, very, very important, because each part of the fleece or the oddments has got different characteristics, and you must know them in order to appreciate them and in order to use them in different way for different products.
Yeah, the wool classing is something that I also find really fascinating, and I wish I had some more knowledge on that. But I indeed, that is really, it's like a real art how to do that, I think. Great. I would also like to talk about the different parts of your company. So you have the Reda Woven Fabrics, then you have Revolution and Reda Active. Maybe let's talk about all three. Who would be your typical customer of the Reda Fabrics?
Okay, Reda has got three business units. Reda 1865, that is producing fabric for men's suitings in pure wool, of course, mostly pure wool, and of course we have other line in some woolen linen, woolen cashmere, but mostly is pure wool, and it's normally for businessmen, and the customer in the world are what you can imagine, the most important customers. So we start from Armani, we go to Zegna, Canali, Polo, Ralph Lauren. Really, we go in a wide range of customers that use wool for business suits. And then the other two business line, and with Reda we produce around 7.5 million meters of fabric, so around 35,000 meters a day, and that's mean over 10,000 suits a day. And every morning we wake up and we try to understand where do we sell 10,000 suits a day. Anyway, this is what is happening today.
Yeah, that's a good to have those numbers. Yeah, thank you. That makes it more visual than just the amount of meters. Yeah.
Yes. Then we have Revolution. As I said, the Revolution is the business line for garments in pure wool for outdoor and sports. Everything is the fabric is made in Italy, and of course, and is at the moment is still a small business unit, but this small business unit help us to develop a new business unit that is growing very well, that is called Reda Active. And Reda Active stands for fabrics with performance. So while in Reda 1865 we talk about super 100, super 120 or super 130, whatever it is, in Reda Active we talk about performance. And when we talk about performance, wool is the only fiber in the world probably that has so many characteristics, so many performance that any other fiber are trying to copy. And they can copy only one performance as a sole performance, not all of them together. So Reda Active is used by many customers, both from fashion and both from sportswear. And there is this amalgamation and ground that we could see in the recent year, that the fashion people are moving a little bit more in the sports line, and the sportswear company are moving a little bit more in the fashion. And we are exactly in that part, even if Reda Active is used by some important customers that are using them like the inside of the ski boots, because wool keeps you warm and dries up dries up the humidity, and it doesn't smell. Is used by another important company that makes helmet for skiing. Is used to make shoes, and really the capability in the category where wool can go is really quite big, and we are facing now this opportunity, and we are growing little by little in order to bring the wool in different category, market category.
Yeah, I think that's important what you say, because we don't really think about these products that you just mentioned, like ski helmets or skiing boots. But that, yeah, wool also has there lots of things to contribute, and not only as a t-shirt or as a suit as you would usually think of. So that's really interesting. And one thing that I understand is special with how you achieve your great quality is that you are specialized in compact spinning. And as you have a technical background, can you explain a little bit what exactly compact spinning is compared to the usual spinning?
Compact spinning is already, I think, more than 15 years old technology. Actually, is even older. But let's say that when compact spinning arrived, Reda adopted because makes the yarn more regular, makes the yarn more clean, and helps through a device that tends to makes the fiber work all together. So, in other words, makes a yarn that has got at the end more elongation and more strength compare a yarn made from the same wool that is not compact. Of course, compact spinning is a technology that has changed a lot the appearance of the fabric. You have more clear fabrics, better fabrics to look, and put you in a different. Again, is another step towards quality. So you increase the quality, and is an innovation, is a technological innovation that it gives you another step to increase your strengths.
Okay, thank you. That was really clear for explaining that. And then another point I felt from your website is that traceability is also an important topic for Reda. And can you maybe talk a little bit more why it is so important and how you actually ensure traceability of the fiber?
But traceability is something that is asked by the final consumer. Today, the final consumer wants to know everything from the food, where it's coming from, where it's been bred, or what has been eaten. And also people wants to know where this fabric has been made, the wool where it's coming from, the sheep has been treated well. So actually traceability is going to become more and more important because of the transparency and the internet. As simple as that. People want to know everything about you, and you must be able to prove what you're saying. And so what we are doing, we are just helping to the final consumer, in this case our customer, but at the end is the final consumer, to give exactly the information of that fabrics from which wool is coming from which country, and the fabric where it's been made, where it's been combed, spun, and weaved and finished. So it's going to be but is already, it's not, it's going to be, is already a request, a market request to the final consumer.
And is it easier for you to meet this demand because you are pretty much vertically integrated then?
Yeah, it is much easier because we are very much integrated, and this is an important factor because controlling all the verticality, it will be much easier to prove the things to the customer, to the final consumer.
Okay. And I also read that you are EMAS, I don't know how to say that, EMAS certified, EMAS. And it stands for Eco Management System, but I'm not really sure what it means. So maybe you can enlighten me. What does EMAS certified mean?
EMAS is the real meaning is Environmental Maintenance Assurance Scheme. Is a European certification, very, very strict. And today in Europe, Reda is the benchmark for any textile mill that wants to be certified EMAS. When you are EMAS certified, they give you free of charge ISO 14001. Which is the difference? ISO 14001 is a picture in a moment. It's like the balance sheet. At the end of the year, you make the balance sheet, and that is the picture in that moment. EMAS is completely different because it's a philosophy that obliges you to improve or to decrease your impact in the world. We all have an impact in the world, but our aim is to decrease the impact in terms of usage of water. Try to use as less water as possible. Usage of energy. Try to use less energy or try to find energy from natural. So EMAS is something that is something that we embraced over 15 years ago, where nobody was talking about environment and so on, and we did it because as a company we have an impact in our territory, but we live here, and our kids live here, and the kids of our people live here, and our people live here. So we wanted really was a family philosophy where we really wanted to be able to measure and to decrease our environmental impact in the world. And today is something that customer are asking, and the final consumer is asking also, like traceability, but they're asking also about how is your impact? What do you do to decrease your impact? And unless you have a system where you can measure that, you cannot answer.
Okay, yeah, thank you for enlightening me on that. And I agree that on the one hand, it's a lot of work to implement these systems, but they also give you a lot of information on how to make your company and your product better, and give the promise to your consumer.
Yes.
And you also started Revolution, and through that you now have direct access actually to the end consumer. Is there something in particularly that you learned through this direct contact with the end consumer?
First of all, when we started Revolution, we made the first two decisions. The first 5 minutes were perfect. The decision to start Revolution and the name. And from that moment onwards, all the other decisions were wrong. But if we look back today, we are very, very, very happy in the sense that Revolution is more on the final product. Honestly, our mentality, our attitude is more on fabrics. We are good in quality innovator in fabrics. Probably, if I look back, we should have started in a different way with more someone that knew a little bit more about the distribution, the final market. But at the end, is the this sportswear brand is still growing, and we made mistake, but from the mistake you learn. If you don't make mistake, you don't learn anything. So as long as you don't make always the same mistake, this is the most important thing.
And what did you learn, for example? Can you give us an example?
That probably we should have done, as I said, we should have done probably a better consolidation in the structure of the people that we engage at the beginning. Probably we should have called or make more scouting for some expertise. And probably we've been a little bit too, how can I say, presumptuous. Because we thought that we were able to do it, and probably if we were less presumptuous, we should have employed people that were more in the garments business, that probably we could avoid some mistake.
Okay, thank you. And what I also find very interesting is I looked at your Facebook page and also your Instagram, and you have over 41,700 likes on Facebook and over 5,300 followers on Instagram. And I think those are really amazing numbers for these social media platforms. And do you see particular benefits from having this social media engagement for Revolution?
We are starting now to build in our brand awareness through this social network. Of course, these are two of many of them, and we need absolutely to consolidate and to grow in this new system, because the world is going in that direction. Probably we are still we're still very young in the digital market, and but this digital market is growing so fast that we are in this moment looking for new opportunity and how to grow and to grow our brand in this new system. Anyway.
Yeah, but I think you're being very modest because other brands don't have this kind of social media following yet. So I think you have already come a long way. And I see you also regularly posting on those channels. So I think you're on your right way. So continue, and I'm sure you'll see more success for your brand as well. Now, before we come to an end, can you tell or share with us your favorite moment or experience that you had during your career in the wool industry?
Well, I must say that probably my best moment was the worst moment of the company that happened probably in 2009, where we lost 30% of our turnover in 1 year. And if I look back, probably that was the moment where we changed more. And it was the moment that revolution started, was the moment of decision making. Was a moment very difficult. We suffer a lot, but all the company and all the people in the company, we came together and we decided we must change. We need to do something together. And that has consolidated a strength and energy that is still going now. And that probably the worst moment is my best moment that if I would like to recall.
Well, that's a very powerful message and very motivating for everyone who might be going through struggling times, that you can actually make it the beginning of something really, really great. Thank you for sharing that, Francesco. Now, where can people best connect with Reda? Should it be the website or the Facebook page? What is the best way for people to find out more about your company?
Of course, you can look at our website, www.reda.it, and or www.revolution.it. But everything in Reda, you can find all our philosophy, all our brand, and all our information. And but of course, anyone that comes to Biella is welcome to come and see us.
Great. Okay. And I'll make sure to link also to the Facebook page and the Instagram page. And I also thought it's really interesting that you also have an online shop where people can actually buy meters of your beautiful fabric. So anyone who wants to get their hands on Reda fabric can do it actually from their online shop directly, which is great. Well, thank you.
You are very well informed.
Yes, and but I think that's also something that where the market is going into that direction, and I was really positively impressed that you already have an online shop with all your fabrics, because I think that's really important nowadays as well.
Yes, thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Francesco, for your time, and I wish you continued success for all your different parts of the business, and that they continue to grow as you hope them to do.
Thank you, Elisabeth, for this great opportunity to talk with you and to talk with other people. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You are certainly getting exposed to a lot of different English accents on the show. Today you had the combination of Italian and German English accents. Hopefully you enjoyed my conversation with Francesco Botto Poala from Reda and Revolution. I encourage you to check out the website of Reda because it is really nicely made, and also have a look at the beautiful fabrics and the Revolution sportswear brand. You can find the links on the show notes at elisabethvandelden.com/038. All details are there, just visit elisabethvandelden.com/038. Also, I started a little newsletter that I send out twice per month. In the newsletter, I share my most recent blog posts, podcast episodes, and other interesting news articles that are related to wool and the fashion industry. I would love it if you join my mailing list and receive the newsletter on a regular basis. You can sign up at elisabethvandelden.com/newsletter. That is all for today. Talk to you again next week, and bye for now.